Harry, it is Mighty Avengers 32, and this cover has disappointed me for 12 years now. We have the Avengers fighting the Dark Avengers, and it is by the interior artist too, and nothing close to this happens in the issue. The two teams meet. That is it. We didn't get to see Vision fight Venom. We didn't get to see Hercules Man fighting Wolfman's emo son, Gerard. And we definitely didn't get to see u.s.agent fighting Norman Osborn. Something that I obviously want to see. This is by Dan Slott and probably a co-writer. And we do open with a little bit with the Flash. He has been redeemed in the eyes of the Unhumans, but mainly because he has lied. He claims that he had been replaced with a Skrull imposter when he started a war between the Unhumans and Earth, and when he also kidnapped and ate his daughter. His daughter, though, Kid Flash, she sees through his lies and knows that he wasn't ever replaced with a Skrull, but she isn't going to tell anyone because she knows that her judgment and her rejection is penance enough. So we have all these Avengers together, and here is an ineffective montage of them fighting a bunch of threats that deserved entire issues. The point is that Norman Osborn, he is pissed off that these Avengers are saving the world all the time, while his Dark Avengers team does fuck all because they are written by Michael Bryan Benson. And now Tom Hiddleston, he has decided to put these two Avengers teams up against each other. He has freed Crusher Man from prison to bring both teams out to stop them. There was all this stuff with Tom Hiddleston manipulating and tricking Norman Osborn during the Dark Regime story, the Dark Avengers period. But it was never done well or really made sense. Again, mainly because Michael Bryan Benson was writing the bulk of it. Tom Hiddleston didn't seem to have any sensible end goal in mind when he was gaslighting Norman Osborn. And Norman Osborn falling for it made no sense in comparison to the main story arc being told of him being so clever and cunning that he had managed to take over the Avengers and America's superhuman defense forces. The other thing is that this would be a great time for Dan Slott to resolve the storyline with Tom Hiddleston posing as Charlotte Witch. Have something develop with that or resolve. But he doesn't. u.s.agent has had his shield repaired by Aunt Gordon, and there is some smug, annoying writing here where Dan Slott has u.s.agent for his shield, and his aim is off, and Aunt Gordon says that the shield was incorrectly weighted to begin with. I didn't think Dan Slott cared enough to research that Black Panther made this shield for Captain America. And so now we have this suggestion that it was never well made. We also have the Flash, and what is bothersome is that this pays lip service to the idea of the Tom Hiddleston, Charlotte Witch stuff. We have the Flash. He is running around the new never-ending infinite base that the Avengers are using. And he is looking around for where Charlotte Witch is. He really only joined this team because he saw that she was with them. But so far, he hasn't had any opportunity to interact with his sister. Not helped by the poor planning, where the most story done with Charlotte Witch was when the Flash was off in Tibet. So Tom Hiddleston, he shows up again in disguise as Charlotte Witch for the final time. You will never see him in this cosplay ever again. There will be no closure to him taking her form. There will be no explanation for why he took her shape specifically. This entire plot strand that has been teased and told over the course of 11 issues now, it'll just be dropped, and the team will confront Tom Hiddleston in issue 34. But there won't be any payoff to this plot beat. So Tom Hiddleston, he tells the team the same stuff that he just told Norman Osborn, basically pointing them towards Crusher Man's escape. But while this is going on, the team's leader, Hank Gordon, he communicates with Amadeus Cho, the superior Hulk Amadeus Cho, and the two work on trying to track or determine what the deal is with this Charlotte Witch who keeps showing up and teleporting them to every crisis. Conveniently, the Flash runs in just at the moment they are transported away, and we didn't get to actually progress or do anything with him and Charlotte Witch. So our two teams of Avengers, they converge at the secret government labs of Project Cadmus, where Crusher Man was being detained. This is a neat little shot of the team, and I obviously love this team lineup. But right after that, we have the most uncomfortable part of this entire run. Not this bit with U.s.agent saluting Norman Osborn. I do have problems with that though. It would make sense 8 issues again. It doesn't make sense after U.s.agent has been hanging around with the real Avengers for a few months and will have learnt how Norman Osborn hijacked the Avengers and how his Dark Avengers team is just filled with bad guys pretending to be heroes. No, the worst part of this entire run is after that, when we have Dan Slott writing 2 characters flippantly joking about their pasts as abusers of women. You have to be a very, very intelligent writer to get away with characters casually joking about them hitting women. But with Dan Slott, it's just a slob who has issues with women writing jokes about them getting battered and thrown off bridges. We didn't have anywhere near as much conflict between the two teams as the cover promises. No actual fights, very little interaction even. And they have to team up anyway to fight Crusher Man, who has absorbed the powers of the Tesseract. So now he is a huge, huge threat. We end with a cute bit with Giant Girl. That remains the most memorable thing they do with this team up. This first part is sort of fine. It's mostly set up, to be honest, but there is just a tiny bit of character stuff or promise shining through. My feelings towards this run have degraded a lot. They have gone downhill every time I reread it. And this time I feel like, outside of the first story arc, I am finding fault with everything. For years, I was of the belief that this is the issue where it starts going very, very downhill. And the final two-part story is fucking bad. But we will come to that soon. This issue, I didn't find unreadable. There's really only that exchange about beaten wives that I find deplorable, and above all else because it is coming from Dan Slott. And our part 2 of this story stinks, but part 1 here is okay. I'll give it 7 thumbs up.